This is the easiest home decor DIY you'll ever do, and trust me, you're gonna want to save this for later. An ad popped up on my Instagram with 2 pieces of wall art that I instantly fell in love with. I searched for a month and couldn't find them anywhere, and when I saw what textured art was selling for, I was like, no, I can recreate this. I am not paying that price. So that's what we're gonna do right now. For this DIY, I grabbed 2 large frames from IKEA for $30 each and some Kraft wrapping paper from the dollar store for $2.50. We're gonna start by laying these out and getting rid of all this plastic. I actually decided to keep a little bit of plastic on the front end so that my floor wouldn't scratch the frame. Then we're just gonna go around the frame and push all these little pieces up so we can get everything out of it, and taking everything out one piece at a time. I did miss a step here, but I'll tell you all about that in a minute. Then we're gonna roughly measure out a piece of this craft paper to cover the entire back end of the frame. Y'all already know how bad I am with scissors. For this next part, we're really gonna trust the process. We're literally just gonna crumple up this paper as much as possible to create a bunch of texture. Crumble, crumble, crumble. I was not kidding. Literally get this as good as possible, and then you're just gonna lay it down flat onto the frame, pressing it down to make sure that every end is covered. Now we're gonna put the back piece back on and slowly push those things down just like you saw before. This was actually the hardest part of this entire DIY for me because I couldn't get it to stay because it was so thick, but so worth it. Trust me, trust the process. And if you haven't guessed by now, I keep saying trust the process because we literally have no idea what this looks like on the other side. We are just giving it up to God at this point. I also realized if you push your weight on the back end all over the board, it just made it a little bit more compact for the actual craft paper, which made it easier to push those things down. This was the moment that I turned it over and saw what it looked like, and I was flabbergasted. Now for the part I forgot about. So I actually made 2 of these. This is the second one that I'm showing you what I made an error on. I didn't realize that there was plastic on this glass, so I had to take it off and take the whole thing apart on the second one after this and redo it, but that's okay. It still looked great. This part was actually so satisfying to me. Like, if I could go back and do this more times, I would. The plastic was actually on both sides of this glass sheet, but it's not really glass. I don't know what to call this. Anyway, I decided I was going to lay it down and pull the other piece off when it was laying flat, just to make my life a little bit easier, so you can watch me do that right now. And now we're going to start putting it back together, starting with that white sheet that comes with the frame that I'm actually obsessed with. This made everything. I'm not kidding. Like I said, this was the second one, so you can watch me roll this out to measure it again and cut and do everything else in double time. So again, we're going to crumble and then we're going to lay it down. Now, with this part here, honestly, you just want to make sure that everything is covering the glass part. Don't worry about it going all the way to the white. That does not matter because it's going to be hidden when you flip it around, but you don't want to have any gaps or anything like that. So making sure you're pressing it as much as possible. Here's a better visual of me pushing the actual back end of the frame down to make it easier to pop these little guys in. Now we're going to move on to the part I haven't done yet, and I recommend you wait to do this part until the end. The frame comes with 4 screws for each frame. Now, with this part, they were the tiniest screws I've ever seen in my life. I honestly didn't even have a bit that actually fit the size, so I had to do the best I could. But the reason I recommend waiting until the end is because you want to make sure that when you actually flip the frame, since we were trusting the process, that it looks how you want it to look. That way you can make the adjustments you need. I realized if I held the screw and drilled slow, it was way easier. I'm in pure love with these frames. Cannot believe I did this, and I'm now debating if I want to take this to the next level and add a little bit of vinyl. Is this a DIY you do? Let me know in the comments.